Cede & Co. Ever heard of it? Most likely not. We're going to take a look into this and talk about who Cede & Co. is and who they're owned by and what their purpose is. So you've probably never heard of this, but founded in 1996, Cede was formed for the purpose of efficiently processing transfers of stock certificates on behalf of the Depository Trust Company. Now, back then, obviously, much lower volume of trading, so paper certificates were easy to manage. So obviously, as time progresses, things start picking up. That becomes an inefficient way to conduct business. So what do? They transfer to electronic. And that's when the problem starts. So Cede is a separate legal person from the DTC, by the way, which is owned by DTC participants. Now this is the important part, because Cede is owned by DTC participants who are banks and brokerage houses, not employees of DTC. So that's our first real big concern. Now, this small-based, New York-based financial institution has 12 directors and no more than a half dozen employees, but holds, according to some reports, $34 trillion in assets. Now, NSCC, DTC, FICC, all fall under the umbrella of Cede & Co. So all of these entities putting out these rules are all under the same umbrella of Cede & Co. And then this is from a news article back in 2018. The secret $1 trillion company that owns America. Conspiracy theorists are convinced that a tiny organization owns all of the wealth in the U.S. I mean, it looks that way. So who owns Cede & Co.? Again, the Depository Trust Company. You know, the ones that are putting out rule filings. The one that David Ings works for. Ties to Citadel. It all makes sense, doesn't it? And they're owned by, again, participants, not employees of the DTC or DTCC. They're owned by banks and brokerage houses. That is critical to remember. So, wait a minute. Banks and brokers own Cede & Co.? Yep. Nearly all publicly traded equities and a majority of bonds are owned by a little-known partnership, Cede & Co., which is the nominee of the Depository Trust Company. For each security, Cede & Co. owns a master certificate known as the Global Security, which never leaves its vault. So keep that in mind. Transactions are recorded as debits and credits to DTC members and to their accounts. But the registered owner is Cede & Co., not you. So, thought those were your shares you're holding? Think again. Wait, but I bought my shares. I have proof. Okay. So there's two different types of shareholders, right? There's a beneficial owner, which is what you are. And a beneficial owner is just a person who is entitled to the benefit of a contract. You don't physically own it, but you're entitled to it. Now it's different than a registered shareholder. Registered shareholder actually has the physical certificate of stock. Now if you purchase any stock or bond through a broker, through any broker, it is being held for you under the street name by the DTC unless you have specifically requested to hold the certificate yourself, which is, it's not impossible, but it is difficult. So if you have a book entry stock or bond, you won't be issued a certificate. It's important to note that you have purchased that particular stock or bond without becoming a registered holder of the actual stock or bond certificate. Instead, you have become a beneficial owner, which is the difference. You're not a registered shareholder when you go through a book entry. Unless it's paper being exchanged, you're going to be a beneficial owner, not a registered owner. So what does this all mean, bro? Why are you telling us all this? So if you haven't made the connection, your book entry stocks and bonds all belong to Cede & Co. Cede & Co. is owned by banks. Cede means to surrender possession of, especially by treaty. This country is owned by banks. It's always been banks. It always will be banks. And we have to destroy the banks. That is the problem, clearly. Cede & Co. is nothing more than a central bank for the U.S. stock market and likely other markets worldwide. So if you thought this rabbit hole was just getting deep, think again. Just wait. Just wait.